using the cell phones of other people and other inmates. This was his plan. All of this was found in his cell, that he wanted to sit there and find dirt on people and intimidate and come for these witnesses.
OMG, darlings, grab your martinis because the tea I'm about to spill about music mogul Diddy Combs is absolutely scalding. Just when we thought his arrest was dramatic enough, the plot has twisted faster than a reality show finale. Word on the street, and trust me, my sources are impeccable, is that our fallen mogul might have caught something absolutely nasty while locked up behind those cold prison walls.
It's tragic, but he better be watching his ass literally in prison, because those type of stories,
He probably doesn't want to.
he probably doesn't want to.
Listen closely, sweeties, because this is the juiciest part. My absolutely reliable insiders, and you know I only deal with the best, are whispering that those horrifically unsanitary conditions where they're keeping him, combined with some hush-hush pre-existing health issues, which we've all been politely ignoring at those fabulous parties, have left poor Diddy vulnerable to some kind of rapidly spreading infection. I mean, can you even imagine?
His life, his safety is in jeopardy in any correctional lockup right now. If it is true, as reported, that he is housed in the special housing unit, it's important to note that the special housing unit is a lockdown, 24-hour lockdown unit.
The authorities are being tighter-lipped than a Beverly Hills housewife after her third facelift. But honey, the whispers from those close to the situation, they're sending shockwaves through Hollywood's elite circles. Could this be the wake-up call that our former king of luxury never saw coming? Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
He's allegedly refusing to leave his jail cell at the moment to avoid SA lawsuit.
Darlings, with his reputation shattered like last season's crystal champagne flutes and those fancy connections now worth about as much as a knockoff Birkin bag, poor Diddy is getting a crash course in jail life 101. The drama is more delicious than a 5-star dessert menu, and everyone, from the baristas at Starbucks to the highest-paid executives in Hollywood, is watching with bated breath to see how this absolutely shocking twist plays out in Diddy's spectacular downfall. Let me paint you a picture, sweeties. Sean Combs, who once turned luxury living into his personal brand, is now experiencing a lifestyle makeover that would make any reality show producer weep. The MDC Detention Center in New York, it's about as far from his usual champagne and caviar existence as Target is from Gucci. And spending the holidays there? Absolutely devastating for someone who used to throw parties that made the Met Gala look like a backyard barbecue.
The MDC is, I've used the word austere a lot, but it is. It's austere, it's strict, it's impersonal, it's cold, and it is a very tough place to be detained.
Can you believe it, my darlings? Instead of dripping in diamonds and throwing those legendary parties on private yachts that we all desperately wanted invites to, he's stuck in accommodations that wouldn't even make it onto a 0-star Yelp review. The MDC is notorious, and not in the fabulous way. Prison expert Larry Levine spilled all the tea about their so-called holiday sack. And trust me, it's not the kind of designer sack Diddy's used to. Picture this: plastic pillows that have shrunk more than a cheap sweater in the wash, and expired commissary items that would make a dollar store look luxurious. The absolute horror of it all.
He will be locked in the cell 23 hours a day with 1 hour recreation in a fenced-in area where I would certainly expect for him to be recreating alone.
But wait, my devoted gossip lovers, because the food situation is even more shocking than a celebrity divorce. Word on the cell block is that Diddy's been turning his nose up at meals completely, and not because he's on some fancy celebrity diet. The real tea? There are whispers that he's absolutely paranoid about being poisoned. An insider really let loose, spilling more tea than a broken teapot, saying Diddy's terrified that someone with connections might try to eliminate him. Can you imagine being so scared that every bite could be your last? Not because of calories, darling, but because someone might literally be trying to take you out. The drama. And speaking of drama, let's dish about Diddy's health situation. The whispers about his condition are getting louder than a housewife at a reunion show. Some say he's battling something serious, others hint at something more scandalous. But one thing's crystal clear: the MDC isn't exactly equipped with the kind of medical care our former mogul is used to. No private nurses or celebrity doctors here, honey. Have you seen how thin he looked at his last court appearance? It's more shocking than a celebrity without makeup. Is it the stress, the food, the mysterious illness, or all of the above? The transformation is giving us more questions than a Game of Thrones finale. Darling, it gets even juicier. Over the holidays, poor Diddy apparently had a complete meltdown at MDC that would make any reality show producer green with envy. Can you blame him? Despite having lawyers who probably charge more per hour than most people's annual salary, he's still stuck there. An insider revealed that spending the holidays behind bars pushed him right over the edge, though apparently he managed to calm himself down with meditation. How very zen of him, darling. Maybe he's finally discovering that inner peace costs less than a Rolls Royce.
He's refusing to leave his cell after he hears, for the first time in life, N.O., jailhouse guards saying no to his demands.
But hold on to your designer bags and clutch your pearls, because this next part is absolutely wild. Just when you thought Diddy's legal troubles couldn't get any messier than a toddler with finger paint, along comes Michigan inmate Derek Lee Cardello Smith with a lawsuit that's making everyone's jaws drop lower than a Silicon Valley stock crash. We're talking allegations from 1997, and guess who's been named as a potential witness? None other than Jenny from the block herself, Jennifer Lopez. This $400 million bombshell is more explosive than a Real Housewives reunion.
You filed a motion for a temporary restraining order and/or a preliminary injunction to stop all sales of the property and assets attached to or involved with said property.
The plot thickens faster than a bad face mask, sweeties. According to Smith's absolutely shocking claims, J-Lo knew all about Diddy's alleged criminal behavior. He claims Diddy kept her quiet by threatening both her career and her safety. Now, Jenny from the block has never been tied to anything criminal with Diddy, but her name popping up in court documents has everyone buzzing more than a Beverly Hills coffee shop during brunch.
The government said that they interviewed over 50 witnesses and victims. But there is one name on that celebrity list that is standing out in particular right now: Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo's team is keeping quieter than a Botox clinic's client list, and we still don't know if she'll have to testify. But let's not forget that infamous 1999 nightclub shooting. Even though she was cleared, it's still the scandal that keeps on giving like a bad Christmas fruitcake. Diddy's legal team is fighting back harder than a Kardashian defending their Instagram filters, calling Smith a serial fabricator who's just thirsty for fame. They're trying to get the case thrown out faster than last season's trends at a sample sale. But wait, there's more drama than a teenage group chat. The tea about these freak-off tapes is absolutely scandalous. Diddy's lawyers are desperately trying to use them to clear his name, claiming everything was more consensual than a celebrity couple's staged paparazzi photos. But prosecutors? They're painting a picture darker than a gothic fashion show, darling. We're talking about elaborate performances crossing state lines. It's giving very Eyes Wide Shut, but with more legal consequences.
There are going to be a lot of other women as well, and men. And I think the volume is going to be very difficult for him to overcome.
And let's dish about Cassie, identified as Victim 1 in court documents. Even though she settled her multi-million-dollar lawsuit against him in 2023 for an amount that would make a lottery winner jealous, her name keeps popping up like a persistent X in your Instagram feed. Diddy's team claims she voluntarily kept these tapes and handed them over to law enforcement, trying to make her look more like a willing participant than a victim. The spin is dizzier than a SoulCycle class.
The main star witness for the prosecution is Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, who he beat horribly at the Century Plaza Hotel.
But honey, Cassie's involvement is raising more eyebrows than a bad Botox job at a discount clinic. The federal indictment claims these events involved underage individuals and secret recordings. Allegations Diddy's team denies faster than a celebrity denies plastic surgery. They're sticking to their story harder than a spray tan that won't wash off. No secret cameras, no orgies, no celebrities, no underground tunnels, no minors, and absolutely no hint of coercion or violence. It's a defense more rehearsed than a Broadway show.
One of the things that's very clear is that they're going to argue that a lot of this was consensual. They're going to argue that the freak-offs were consensual, that the drug use was consensual.
Now let me spill some piping hot tea about Peacock's new documentary, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. Child, it is more revealing than a wardrobe malfunction at the Super Bowl. Childhood friend Tim Dog Patterson didn't hold back about Diddy's upbringing. We're talking weekend parties wilder than a spring break in Vegas. Patterson spilled all the details about baby Diddy's childhood environment, and honey, it's more shocking than finding out your favorite reality show is actually scripted.
Am I gonna get in trouble? I don't want to say I witnessed any of that crazy stuff, but we all have common sense. Little people that's not supposed to be there.
You're talking about underage people.
It's a shame.
The million-dollar question on everyone's perfectly glossed lips is, will these tapes save Diddy or be the final nail in his designer coffin? This case is messier than a Real Housewives reunion after an open bar. Sean Combs, once Hollywood's party king, is now the center of a scandal that could shake Tinseltown harder than an earthquake in stilettos.
The silence is deafening, especially from longtime associates of Diddy.
And speaking of Hollywood, the silence from Diddy's famous friends is more deafening than an EDM concert. J-Lo, Ashton Kutcher, Jay-Z, Naomi Campbell, they're all keeping quieter than a mime convention. Even Leonardo DiCaprio, who practically had a permanent VIP pass to Diddy's parties, and the Kardashians, who never met a camera they didn't love, are suddenly camera shy. And Justin Bieber, Diddy's former protege, honey, he's gone more ghost than a dating app match.
There are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on.
Why, you ask, clutching your pearls? One word, darling, fear. Pure, unadulterated, designer-clad fear that's more expensive than a Hermes bag.
If you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. attorneys.
As the accusations pile up higher than a Manhattan penthouse, everything from to racketeering and trafficking, experts say these stars are more terrified than a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Eric Schiffer, CEO of Reputation Management Consultants, spills that this isn't just celebrities being careful, it's full-on survival mode that would make Darwin proud. They're scared to death their brands will bleed out, he dishes. And worse, they're afraid crossing Diddy could end in disaster. It's giving very Godfather, but with more designer labels. Those famous Diddy parties that used to be more exclusive than a secret royal wedding. Turns out they might have been less Great Gatsby and more American Horror Story. Now, everyone who ever posed for a pic with him is desperately trying to distance themselves faster than a celebrity from their first headshot. The stakes are higher than a pair of platform Louboutins at a drag show. One wrong move, one badly timed statement, and boom, they could be connected to allegations dating back to the early 2000s. And with Diddy's reputation for making problems disappear, well, nobody's taking chances bigger than a Real Housewives diamond ring. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who worked on Diddy's Love album, oh, the irony is richer than a chocolate souffle, filed a $30 million lawsuit and told Rolling Stone something absolutely chilling. He told me himself, "I'll smack my mama. Anyone who can say that, even jokingly, is a monster." Jones spilled more tea than a British afternoon social. For someone whose brand is Love Records, he doesn't show love. He's nothing to be played with. Talk about brand inconsistency, darling. As Diddy's empire crumbles faster than a stale cookie at a Weight Watchers meeting, his former friends are doing more ghosting than a haunted house. Their silence speaks volumes louder than a stadium concert. What secrets are they desperate to keep buried deeper than their high school yearbook photos? For Hollywood's elite, staying quiet isn't just playing it safe. It's survival more intense than a reality show elimination. And for Diddy, it's the last thread of his reputation hanging by a thread thinner than a supermodel on a juice cleanse. The final scalding hot tea? Diddy's looking at charges so serious he might never see another red carpet again. We're talking racketeering conspiracy, potential life sentence, trafficking by force, 15 years to life, and more charges than a shopaholic's credit card during a Black Friday sale. CNN legal analyst Ellie Honig calls it extraordinarily serious. And honey, when a federal prosecutor uses those words, you know it's worse than wearing white after Labor Day. Add in those civil suits from women accusing him of including that settled lawsuit from Cassie, plus that shocking 2016 footage that's more disturbing than a horror movie marathon. Let's just say Diddy might be trading in his designer suits for something a little more orange. If convicted, his empire won't just crumble, it'll explode like a champagne bottle in a paint mixer. And the only stage Sean Combs might see again will be the prison yard. Now that's what I call a fall from grace more dramatic than all the soap operas combined, darling. Combined, darling.